Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Vanessa and you are watching the Exploring Oracle, or the Exploracle for short. So if you're new here, what I usually do in this channel is I show you a deck from my personal collection and I tell you what I like or what I don't like about the deck. I show you all of the cards, we talk about the cardstock, the guidebook, we shuffle, and then at the end we also choose a card to read. So if you're interested in just a particular part of that, I also have chapters linked down in the description box below so you can jump to the section that you want to see. Okay, so today we will be taking a look at this mass market deck called the Hush Tarot. So this is published by US Games, and Hush Tarot beckons readers to explore an alluring world where animal and human spirits are unified, and even the smallest creatures like ravens and hares have great significance. At times, they appear lost in the weeds, but there is always a hidden clue guiding them to the way out. The fascinating characters and landscapes are illustrated with lush detail, inspired by a 19th century aesthetic that explores natural forms in various states of life and decay. Hush Tarot offers a shift in perspective that reveals profound answers to life's mysteries. So it includes a 78-card deck and a 68-page guidebook. So this is what the inside of the box looks like, and this is the guidebook. These are the cards. Okay, so let's take a look at the guidebook. So the Hush Tarot is by Jeremy Hush. So he in the introduction, he talks about how it came to making the tarot, and it doesn't have a table of contents, and it just goes straight to the meanings of the cards. So the major arcana, you have the upright and reversed, and then for the minors, you also have the upright and reversed, but there is a little bit more detail in the majors. And at the end, you have a spread and about the artist, so about Jeremy, and some space for your notes. Okay, so for the cards, they are a little, it's not glossy, but there is a little bit of sheen. They are not the usual tarot size card, so it is a little bit shorter but a little wider there. And then these are the backs. It is reversible, Hush Tarot, and the card quality, it's typical US Games cardstock, not too thick, not too thin, snaps back really well. I do like this cardstock, I have no issues with it. So yeah, and it does slip and doesn't clump. Okay, so let's zoom in and take a closer look at all of the cards. So it is borderless, but we do have this like border, but not really a border because the art extends over it, which I really like. There is a number at the top and the name of the card at the bottom. It is not an RWS clone, so it goes its own way. There is a different style and symbolism to these cards. I wouldn't say that they are great for beginners, but that's just me. And honestly, I got this when I was just starting. This is actually one of the oldest decks in my collection because I got it when I was just starting, so in 2021, late 2021. But I have never used this for a reading. So I have brought it out, I flipped through it several times. I love the art. I'm just super drawn to the art, but I've never been called to use it in a reading, and I don't know why. So if you've been watching my videos for a long time, like from the start, you would actually know that the reason why I did start this channel is because the way that I would bond with my decks would be to do these flip throughs, record myself, watch them back, and since I already had those videos, I just decided to, why not upload them on YouTube or something like that. And but basically the channel has evolved since then, because now it's really more focused on me showing off decks, but it started with me wanting to bond with my decks better. And given that I've had this deck for like over 2 years without reading with it, I don't know if this is like my last ditch effort to try and connect with it, or it would be like the final straw for me to just pass it on, because I just absolutely love the art, but I don't really want to keep decks just for the sake of the art. I consider myself a deck collector. I do collect decks that I don't use a lot, but there is that at the back of my mind. I know that I will eventually use it, or I will get something out of it. But this one, I'm not sure. But there's really nothing in my collection that has this kind of art style. So I don't know. I'm not sure whether I will keep this, but I haven't read with it for so long. But I do, well, I'm just thinking, I do have other decks in my collection that I've had for a while that I haven't read with, but I know that there is an intention to read with them when the time comes, when the proper time comes, or when I'm, let's say, in a particular situation that I would need that particular energy of a deck. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one, and that's the problem that I have with it. So later, when we pick a card and I read from the guidebook, that would be the first reading that I would actually have with this deck. And let's see. But so far, it is something that I am considering rehoming or letting go of. And it's such a shame, because really the art is visually stunning. I mean, look at this 8 of Swords. It's a very grounded energy, and I think it's because I feel like I am getting the same energy as I would get if I used the Forhaxa Tarot. It's a newer deck in my collection, but I seem to prefer it more, and every time I think of, whether I should pull out the Hush Tarot, I do think that I would prefer to use the Forhaxa instead. So yeah, I got this really for the art because I was just so drawn to it, and I still am. It's still mesmerizing. I mean, look at this. But I don't know, I'm not sure if I don't even know what my point is or what I'm trying to say in this video. Maybe because I haven't really decided, or what I'm going to do with this deck, unlike some other flip throughs where I have pretty much decided, or I'm sure that I would be giving up a deck, or I'm sure that I love it or I'm going to keep it. But this one is just on the fence, and even now I can't decide what I want to do with it. So maybe if you have this deck, let me know what do you like about it, or what do you don't like about it. How can I use this, or what would be the best way to use it? Because it doesn't seem like something that I could use on, just my daily tarot practice, like an energy advice kind of reading. the key. Okay, so I zoomed out. Let's see how this deck shuffles. I think it'll shuffle really well. Yeah, it shuffles just fine. And let's do it one more time. So yeah, I can get a good mix. I think that the more you work with it, it will get easier to shuffle. It's also comfortable. Actually, the size is quite good for me because it's a little shorter and my hands are on the smaller side. It doesn't stick, it doesn't clump. So yeah. Okay. And let's see. Oh, okay. And you will be reading for the 10, I believe the 10 of Swords? Yeah. Okay, so I was wrong. This is not the 10 of Swords. This is actually the 10 of Wands. So it's a rod. And I think that's another reason why this deck might be a little bit difficult for beginners. Because if you're not familiar... yeah, but basically you do have this symbol at the top. So that's what a sword looks like. And this is what the wands or the rods look like. So for me, I have bad eyes. So it's not as easy. And I was just reading the book for the 10 of Swords and I'm like, no, it doesn't seem right. But anyway, so I checked the wands and yeah, it seems like a better fit. And it does talk about a cat. So yeah, let me read from the guidebook. It says that the 10 of Wands upright is responsibility. The road has been a long one. You have taken on so much and accomplished great things. All of this comes with the heavy burden of having to maintain it. Do not be afraid to delegate and entrust work to others. The insect kingdom is a microcosm of a machine, with each participant doing its job. The cat is a reminder to use courage and refined senses to tackle problems. And the reverse meaning is overwhelmed. The strain of your workload is an unnecessary burden. Your stubborn will to do everything yourself is making life difficult. Take the time to make a plan on which tasks to tackle first. Narrow your choices down to what is most important and remove what is not. So the guidebook is pretty good. The message for the 10 of Wands, spot on. I can relate to it. But I don't know, I'm still undecided. I think it's really because I see it as more of an art deck. And at the start of my practice, I didn't really mind collecting things because of the art. But now that my collection has grown, I feel like I don't want to keep things that are not going to be used. And honestly, this is one of those decks that if I don't look at the list of decks that I have, I would forget that I had. And I don't know if that is already confirmation that I would eventually be letting this go, because it doesn't seem like I'm going to miss it. But it is really beautiful. Like when I just look at the art like this, it does something to me, or yeah. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll do a few more readings with it. I do feel sad, about decks that... Because this is one of those decks that I've had for a while now, but haven't really gotten much use of. So I do feel a little bit sad about that, because I wanted it to work, but I'm not sure if it will work. And I'm also not sure I want to keep putting in the effort to bond with it. I guess that's just the way it is. You know, not all decks will will be right for you. So that's actually why I also watch a lot of flip throughs, because when I watch them, I get to hear what people think about the deck first. And of course, I've watched flip throughs before I got this one, but the one person's experience isn't necessarily going to be the same as yours, right? So this is just take this as another perspective, but whatever it is that you decide to do, or if this still calls to you and you know you're still very much interested in this deck, you know, whatever I say doesn't really matter. And yeah, so maybe we'll leave it at that. That has been the flip through of the Hush Tarot by Jeremy Hush. If you find this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the like button and do consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos like this at least once a week. See you again next time. Bye!